Maya Johnson walked through the hallways of Westfield High with her head held high, her natural curls bouncing with each confident step. At 17, she had learned to navigate the subtle and not-so-subtle hostilities that came with being one of the few black students in her predominantly white school. What her classmates didn't know was that beneath her quiet demeanor lay years of disciplined training and an unbreakable spirit forged in the dojo. The trouble started on a Tuesday morning in the chemistry lab. Maya was partnered with Jessica and Brittany for a group project, two girls who had made their disdain for her clear through whispered comments and deliberate exclusion from social circles. "God, I can't believe we're stuck with her," Jessica muttered, not bothering to lower her voice much. "Her hair is so wild," Brittany added with a fake smile. "Maybe she should try straightening it. You know, to fit in better." Maya focused on her lab notes, having learned long ago that responding to such comments only escalated the situation. She had more important things to worry about, like the regional karate championship coming up next month, where she would be competing for a spot on the national team. For 3 years, Maya had been training under Sensei Nakamura, a former Olympic competitor who had seen something special in the quiet girl who had walked into his dojo seeking self-defense classes. What started as a way to build confidence had evolved into mastery. Maya was now a third-degree black belt, capable of breaking boards with her bare hands and executing moves that could disable an opponent in seconds, but her philosophy, deeply rooted in the discipline her sensei had taught her, was simple. True strength meant knowing when not to fight. The attack came during lunch break. Maya was sitting alone in the library, reviewing her history notes, when Jessica and Brittany approached with two of their friends, Chloe and Amanda. "Hey Maya," Jessica said sweetly, "we brought you something to help with your hair situation." Before Maya could react, Brittany grabbed her from behind while Jessica poured a bottle of household bleach directly onto Maya's beautiful natural curls. "Maybe this will help you look more normal," Chloe laughed as the chemical smell filled the air. Maya's eyes watered, not from emotion, but from the harsh fumes. She could feel the bleach burning her scalp, and several students who had witnessed the attack were gasping in horror. "Oh my God, what did you do?" someone whispered. "It's just bleach," Amanda shrugged. "It's not like it'll kill her." But Maya remained eerily calm. Years of meditation and discipline had taught her to control her initial reactions. She stood up slowly, bleach still dripping from her damaged hair, and looked each of the 4 girls in the eye. "You have no idea what you've just done," she said quietly. Instead of retaliating with violence, Maya walked directly to the principal's office, leaving a trail of bleach drops behind her. The chemical had already begun to burn patches of her scalp, and the school nurse immediately called for medical attention. By the time Maya's parents arrived at the school, the story had spread throughout the entire building. Security cameras had captured the entire incident, and the 4 bullies were sitting in the main office, finally beginning to realize the severity of their actions. "This is assault," Maya's father said firmly to Principal Rodriguez. "My daughter could have been permanently injured or blinded." Meanwhile, Maya sat in the nurse's office, having to cut away chunks of her hair that had been damaged beyond repair. But something unexpected was happening throughout the school. Word had gotten out about who Maya really was. Tommy Martinez, a senior who trained at a different dojo, had recognized her name when the story spread. "Wait, Maya Johnson? Are you talking about Maya Johnson who's competing in regionals next month? Dude, she's like a karate legend. I've seen her spar, she could literally take down all 4 of those girls without breaking a sweat." The revelation spread like wildfire. Students pulled up YouTube videos of regional tournaments where Maya had competed, watching in awe as the quiet girl they barely noticed executed flawless kata forms and defeated opponents twice her size. "She never said anything," one student marveled. "All this time, she could have fought back, but she never did." The 4 bullies faced serious consequences. Jessica and Brittany were expelled, while Chloe and Amanda received lengthy suspensions and were required to attend counseling. Criminal charges were filed for assault and battery, but the real transformation happened in the school culture itself. Maya returned to school 3 days later with a protective head covering while her scalp healed, but something had fundamentally changed. Students who had never spoken to her before approached with apologies and expressions of support. "I'm sorry we never stood up for you," said Marcus, a football player who had witnessed months of subtle harassment. "We should have done something." The karate club, which had been struggling with low membership, suddenly had a waiting list. Maya, despite everything that had happened to her, agreed to help teach basic self-defense classes. During her first teaching session, Maya addressed a room full of students, many of whom had previously ignored her existence. "My sensei taught me that the strongest person in any room is often the one who chooses not to fight," she began, her voice steady and clear. "Real strength isn't about hurting others. It's about discipline, respect, and knowing that you have the power to defend yourself and others when it truly matters." She paused, looking around the room at faces that now showed her the respect she had always deserved. "Those girls thought they could break me because they saw my silence as weakness. But my silence was actually my strength. I chose not to respond with violence because I knew I was better than that. And in the end, that choice revealed their true character and protected me far better than any physical retaliation could have. A month later, Maya competed in the regional karate championship with shorter hair but an unbroken spirit. Her school had organized a bus to bring supporters, something that would have been unimaginable just weeks before. She won her division decisively and earned her spot on the national team. As she stood on the podium, accepting her gold medal, Maya thought about the journey that had brought her there. The Bleach Attack had been meant to humiliate and diminish her, but instead, it had revealed the strength she'd possessed all along. In the audience, dozens of her classmates cheered, having learned an invaluable lesson about assumptions, courage, and the quiet power of true strength. Maya smiled, knowing that sometimes the greatest victories come not from fighting back, but from standing firm in who you are and letting your character speak louder than any fist ever could. Years later, Maya would become a renowned martial arts instructor and motivational speaker, sharing her story with young people across the country. The incident that was meant to break her had instead become the foundation for a lifetime dedicated to teaching others about resilience, dignity, and the true meaning of strength. And she never forgot the lesson that changed everything. Sometimes the most powerful response to hatred is simply refusing to let it change who you are.